Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tarda Zone. Jodie Whittaker has spoken for the first time about her departure. So I have an article here to read. It was dropped by the Radio Times .com, and as I'm talking, the article dropped about 15 minutes ago, and it's by David Craig. So Jodie Whittaker says Doctor Who is the best thing I've ever done as she addresses her exit. The Star adds, "Don't write me out just yet." So Jodie Whittaker has addressed her Doctor Who exit for the first time in a new interview where she describes the long-running sci-fi drama as the best thing she's ever worked on. The actor's tenure on the show began in 2018 when she took over from Peter Capaldi and has some major changes and additions to the lore of the franchise. Yeah, a lot of these that fans reject, and especially the timeless child nonsense. Earlier this summer, it was announced that Whittaker and showrunner Chris Chibnall will both be departing in Doctor Who in 2022, allowing the show to undergo a major creative shake-up. The thing about it is, though, and I just need to hark back to the time when Jodie Whittaker and Chris Chibnall had taken over. That's the exact same thing that was coming out of articles like this, and people that supported this era, that the show needed a major shake-up. Well, look what this major shake-up did. It brought the show to rock bottom. So, you know, again, typical of these journalists. There was already a major shake-up and it didn't work out. In an interview with BBC Radio 6 Music, she reflected on her experience with the show and its passionate viewers, heaping glowing praise on her colleagues and fans alike. She began, "The two highlights for me are having a brand new family of cast and crew and making it on sets of mates for life in an environment where you have such joy going into work every day, and we are part of something so amazing." But then there's also, on the outside of it, seeing how much it means to Doctor Who fans of old, to the new Whovians, to the people who have gone away and revisited whatever stage of the Whovian journey they're in. Just being half a second in that has been really exciting. I don't think Jodie Whittaker would like too much if she actually found out what her fans are actually like. We do. And again, this very interesting comment, fans of old to new Whovians, the people who have gone away. She had to get a little dig in there, didn't she, to the fans that obviously don't like the show, because her and Chris Chibnall ran it into the ground. Whittaker has featured in a number of major projects over the years, including Broadchurch, Black Mirror, and cult hit Attack the Block, but the Doctor Who seemingly trumps everything else she's worked on. Well, in Black Mirror, she was in one episode where she played a cheating wife. In Broadchurch, she played a wife whose son was murdered, and basically for the first season, it's just her crying constantly. Then Chris Chibnall tries to give her a character arc in season 2, which doesn't really work. If of course, Doctor Who would be the biggest thing she worked on. We said that. We've been saying that for years, that this is the biggest thing that she's ever been on. And in fairness, she wasn't the right casting for the job. It's as simple as that. As she added, "It means so much to so many different people, and now I'm part of this. For me, it's going to be the best thing I've ever done. I've loved it. I've loved every second of it. While fans can't help speculating on where the franchise will go next and who will be the next Doctor, Whittaker ended the interview by reminding fans she has many more adventures still to air. Don't write me out just yet. No, you won't be written out, obviously. Um, we still have another year of this nonsense and a bit to go. And then she finally leaves. I will say, on a personal note, that this era has been, for me, the worst era of Doctor Who. Um, Not only just the show, but it's fandom. Um, it's never been so toxic. Again, I've been offline for a couple of days. I come on today to see that two of the usual people that claim to be claim to be the ones that speak for fandom again come out and attacking another woman, someone that I know, and I think it's vile, the behavior of the fandom. So I don't think Jodie Whittaker, I don't think she's aware of what her fans are capable of. But if she did, I don't think she'd be making statements like that about the fans. The cat, Jodie Whittaker, it's not all her fault. Obviously, she was offered the role; she was never going to turn down that role. But how she behaved preceding that when she was cast left a lot to be desired, especially to Whovians like myself. Um, and that started again with the media, drawing anybody that had a problem with a female doctor was a sexist bigot and stuff. And now, as you can see, some of these people now have upped their game because they know Whittaker and Chibnall's gone. This is why I do believe that it's very important that BBC or whoever is moving this show forward picks a man for the doctor. Because we cannot go through another 5 years of this sort of behaviour from fans out there who claim to speak for the fans and who do it in you see, they have their tactics are very smart. They don't directly bully these people, but they know that people that follow them, that'll spur them on to do it. So they're very clever in that way. They never directly, only sometimes, and then when they realise their mistake, they delete tweets very quickly. That's their MO. They always do that. So I do believe BBC need to look at this because we don't need another 5 years of this toxicity in the fandom. And I don't think Jodie Whittaker really, I think she's been shielded from a lot of what's going on. I say she is aware of some of it, but she's not aware of it all. As for Chris Chibnall, his legacy will be the man who nearly destroyed Doctor Who. I know there are some fans out there that believe that the show can never recover from this, and I was one of them up until about 6-7 months ago, when I started to get information that indicated and suggested that BBC were in fact gonna try and do right by Doctor Who. Now I hope they do that. But the most important thing for me right now is we cannot have another 5 or 6 years of this toxic fandom. And I do believe if they cast another male doctor, that half of them will drop off anyway. They don't need those sort of fans in this fandom. We've seen it in the Star Wars fandom, the Star Trek fandom, and we've seen it in every other fandom out there, that there is an element that these shows seem to attract. And then once they get embedded into the fandom, then they go and attack the original fans of the show. And if you're not in line with their way of thinking or anything, then you're labeled all sorts of things in this fandom. So, there's a lot of things, this era will be remembered for a lot of things, but it won't be remembered for the show. It'll be remembered for all the other stuff that went on in the fandom and stuff like that. This show will be long forgotten. This era, I should say, will be long forgotten. Fans like myself can't wait for it to be over, and it will be over soon. And we will never speak of this era again. This era is done. Hopefully now it's able to move on from this and move forward, and hopefully we get something that excuse me. Hopefully we get something that resembles the show that we once loved. That's all we want. That's all we've ever wanted. Stop with the political messaging, the virtual signaling, going with the trends. Doctor Who is a sci-fi show. Again, we have this sci-fi drama kind of crap. Doctor Who's a sci-fi show, first of all. You've got to get that right, and we haven't gotten that right in the last few years. So, let's hope everything that I'm hearing, Eddie is hearing, and others out there are hearing, the positive things that we've heard. Let's hope they're true, because BBC can't go down this route again. The fandom cannot take another 5 years of this crap, and certain people in this fandom need to be silenced. Whether it's going by Twitter, reporting their tweets, because they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know by retweeting certain tweets out there that a mob will then go on to that person's Twitter account and start harassing them. And they think they're very clever. And this is why I get attacked a lot by this person and another person in particular, because I can see right through their game. I know what they're playing at. And they're disgusting people, to be quite honest with you. They go around as if, they're this, oh, no bullying in the fandom, or don't be picked. And they're responsible for most of it. And they've supported people, questionable people in this fandom as well. Remember that. They've followed people that have been accused of harassing women, which we have seen in Tom Vance. They all supported this guy. So remember, and we've heard other stories as well coming out, and other people come forward, say that they've been and shown some horrific messaging going on, absolutely disgusting. So remember, these people, and they're always very clever. Then they try and delete these tweets that support a particular person. What you don't realize is that the times that screenshots are taken, it is because we exposed on this channel Tom Vance's behavior, and nobody would listen because it was happening to me. But of course, as soon as it happens to one of them, there's all uproar. So this kind of behavior needs to stop. But this is why I don't think Whittaker understands. You shouldn't be thanking fans. Your fans have put a lot of fans through a lot of torture. And the sooner this era ends, the better. And it is going to end. And we know now that it's going to end. So hopefully this fandom can move on. Because as I said, we cannot do another 5 years of these. So I hope BBC have been watching what's been happening over these last 5 years. I hope he's learned from his lessons. And I hope he's moved this show forward in a way that the Doctor Who fans, the general public, can be proud of. That's all we've ever wanted. And Doctor Who over the Chibnall era has not been a show to be proud of. The writing has been absolutely dire. The character development has been absolutely dire. And I believe that the wrong woman was cast to play the Doctor in Jodie Whittaker. If you're going to go for a woman, you should have went with someone with a better CV. Someone that had the experience to take on the mantle of the Doctor. Even if those fans out there still objecting to a female Doctor, if you got someone with even half the talent, if you got someone that was better than what you got, right, then we could be looking at a different situation here. Well, actually, the only situation we'd be looking at is that we'd be all coming down on Chris Chibnall's bad writing if he cast the right person. That's all we've ever wanted. So let's hope BBC do learn from their lessons, because we can't have another 5 years like this. Definitely not. And with that, I'm going to say, see you later. Thank you for watching. Sorry I haven't been online. I was a bit unwell yesterday. I was supposed to stream Titanic, the season finale, but that didn't happen. I have gotten in contact with John. We'll see if we can do it tonight. Obviously, hopefully we can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. I'll leave you now with the usual trailers, and don't forget hashtag Sheen for 14. Let's do it.